I had no idea I had a mango tree. It took the neighbor to point it out to me. Full of mangoes.
Yep. One of my favorite skits is when him and the rock, though, are the monkeys in the.
It's like it's coming from up. Yeah, I can't figure out.
It shows your red.
Keep talking and that seems better.
No, still after what I.
And if we talk through our mics, it's a little, nope, it's still there.
I don't see that I'm running any second to
Okay,
current.
hello,
with this.
hello.
Hello?
Okay, that fixed it. Okay, we were having some mix minus in the council chambers. All right. We good?
Correct.
Okay. It's, yeah, no problem. It's 5:30. I will call the work session to order. Let's talk first about the 10-year fire department equipment plan. Chief Walsh, good evening.
Good evening, all.
How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Brenda's gonna pull that up for me.
Is that microphone on now, or did we turn it off?
Thanks for the reminder. Let's forget about that. So you can skip right to that page right there. So our 10-year plan, we've gone through this, looked at it. Next year, we are planning to replace a command vehicle. And then in 2028, we're going to replace our Rescue 11, move that back to Grass 11, and get the UTV in a trailer, and then convert our current Grass 11 into a utility. We're gonna be able to do that with the funding and stuff that is in the account.
Tim, I need.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I need a little bit, I need you to say that again. So you're moving 12 will be grass 11?
Yeah, so our Rescue 11, current today is a pickup. We are going to move that and call that Grass 11. The current Grass 11 will get moved to a utility.
Okay,
So those are two vehicles that we're gonna move. And then the UTV and the trailer will be a complete replacement.
okay, so the conversion part is making Rescue 11 to be able to do the grass.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep, correct. And then we'll get a new Rescue 11.
okay.
Chief Walsh, I have a question also on that, replacing the command vehicle.
Yes,
Then will that vehicle be put up for auction, or will that stay in the fleet and be used by someone else?
no, that will be put up for auction.
Okay.
Yep, because it's, I think, a 2013, so, and it, by then it'll have probably 80-some thousand, 90-some thousand miles on it, so we'll get rid of
Okay.
it. And then the update to the 10-year plan was in 2034. We put in there the boat and motor and trailer. So we added that into the plan.
We already have one, right?
We
that
do.
would be a replacement?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we already have one,
It's
and
probably used as recently as last week.
it was. Thank God we don't use it much for those types of things. We use
Right.
it more for training and that kind of stuff on the river, but
Yeah.
now with these developments and stuff, we're looking at something a little bit different, and then add more of a raft type that we can get on some of the Nerf ponds and things like that, just in case kids like to go through the ice and that kind of stuff. And
Oh,
so we're looking at that with all the new developments going on and what we can do to make things better. But that is all I have for updates for the 10-year plan, unless you have further questions.
I have a question for you, Tim.
Yes.
So when I'm looking at the command vehicle for replacement
Yep.
in 2027, so when I'm looking, realizing it's 2013, so it is an older vehicle, but it only has 68,000 miles on it right now. That doesn't seem like a lot, so I don't know if there's other things that are going wrong with the vehicle. But I mean, if we look at even our personal vehicles, right, most of us keep them, I shouldn't say that, many of us, some of us, keep them past 100,000 even, right? So when I'm looking at replacing a vehicle that only has 68,000 miles on it, can you help me understand why we would want to replace something
With these vehicles and the wear and tear on them versus a regular residential driver type of thing, there is more wear and tear on those. We actually just replaced some ball joints on that vehicle, and it seems to every year pick out something different that wants to. One of the things we have noticed with that particular vehicle is some transmission issues, and we're hoping we're gonna be able to make it until next year so we can replace it, other than putting a new transmission in it. And we are getting some rust spots and those types of things. We did buy that used a couple of years back from a fire department, and it was used there for the same type of thing.
Okay. Do you know how many miles it had on it? When
I-
oh, sorry, that was you. I was like, oh, do we have feedback again?
I do not, I don't remember what we
Okay.
had on it when we bought it.
Okay, I'm just curious as how many miles we're actually putting on it every year.
Yeah,
So,
I could take a look anyway.
okay.
Is that what you're driving, Tim? Is that what's parked
Yes.
outside tonight? Okay.
Yep, the red one.
And then if we replace it when we're looking at the $90,000 for it, to me, because it's a pickup, right? Or is it the SUV?
It'll be the
That's the
Tahoe.
picture of it.
Oh,
Yep.
right there in front of
Yeah, there's a picture in there.
me. Talking and looking at the words, not the picture. Okay, so is there a reason that it's $90,000? Because, I mean, there's many SUVs out there that don't cost quite
Yeah,
$90,000.
and the state bid will come with that. We just don't know what the other products are gonna be, like the box we put in the back, the light packages. I know Chaska just purchased one and got it outfitted for roughly 85.
Okay,
And that was going through the state bid and buying the equipment and stuff for it. So we figured 90 would be a pretty good number to start with.
okay.
We're hoping
Can- I was just saying, can you explain just a little bit more what it gets outfitted with? Because if residents would see this and say $90,000, I want to be able to respond with, well, here's why it's outfitted.
Yeah,
Lights are
so-
one.
In these vehicles, we put a box in the back, and I call it box because it takes up the entire back, but it's got drawers in it. It's got a cabinet for our gear. It's got a place for our SCBA, fire extinguishers, and then it got an area in there for the medical bags and things that we carry, so AED and our kids pack and those types of things. Of course, then it'll have a lighting package in it, directional arrows, and then there's a console that gets put into the center, so that holds your siren box and your radios.
Okay, so there's specialty that has to come with it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep,
all right, that's great, thank you.
you're welcome.
My experience is upfitting can be 25% of the cost of the vehicle.
Yeah, yep, roughly thereabout.
Tim, I had the same feedback. When I was, I think the sheriff's department starts to think about replacing their vehicles at $120,000.
Yep.
I can get behind this one if you're hoping that the transmission is gonna
Yeah.
make it through the end of the year.
Yep.
No problem, but I'd like to see, I'm a drive my cars into the ground kind of person. I
Sure.
would love to see us do that a little bit more with the fire department
Yeah, we can
vehicles.
certainly look into that. We just looked at some of the other departments are doing, and they get a little bit more value if they're in that 60 to 80 range. You
Okay.
Get a little bit more back, but we could certainly look at that.
Okay,
But I think, Courtney, too, if we're buying new this time as opposed to used, I would like to see a much longer life expectancy of us holding on to that vehicle. Because obviously, we're gonna be looking at, 2027, so not 2013, which if you add the years, really.
well, and I'm open, Tim, if you can do a good use case of like, if we sell it at 80,000, we can get 20,000 for it, and that makes a $90,000 vehicle 70, like, I don't know where like that access is of where it makes the most sense, but my other question was just thinking about the state of the world today with gas prices going through the roof.
Yeah.
Probably understanding that you just need a larger vehicle for all of the reasons that you're talking about that goes into that box, but are there any fire departments out there that are running hybrid or EVs or anything? I know about the EV fire trucks, but for this kind of use, is there any?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because I know, like, in theory, in my mind's eye, it's short trips, city trips, but I know it's a lot of idle time potentially when you're at
Yeah.
a scene and potentially long nights in the winter, which isn't really a strength yet of EVs.
Yeah, I'll certainly look into that.
You know, and for me, I guess the reasons that you just stated, that the gas fuel powered truck is more than fine with me.
Yeah,
But I mean, I see what you're saying,
I
right? 'Cause
kind of
we've had
shot my
some-
argument. I'm just
Yeah.
curious if
Yeah.
there's,
We've had some success, obviously, with the building inspections and stuff because it's shorter routes. But again, if you're at a house fire all night and it's -30 out, like you said, I don't
you
think
can't
it's
ask them to plug in. You
sunscreen.
can't ask them for a
Where's
plug-in.
the plug-in?
Yeah. No, I'm just curious if there's any. And I
I'll look.
don't know that I've got my mind wrapped around the EV or hybrid vehicle market, but I don't know that they make anything that
Yeah.
large of a full-size vehicle.
Yeah, and nobody around me that comes to mind,
Okay.
you know, recently, but
Sure.
there may be some bigger departments out there trying some of that stuff to see what it does, but
Yeah,
I'll do some nosing around.
okay. Thank you.
I have a question about other kinds of equipment. So I know we've got an IR-equipped drone. What about, next generation where we can deliver Narcan or a defibrillator pack? Is that even on our radar?
I know, I've been to a couple of classes where they have talked about doing that type of stuff. And I think some of the bigger departments, now they're deploying drones to go to those emergencies first, to kind of get there and assess what's going
Yeah.
on. Some of that is going to start happening where they're, dropping Narcan and, EpiPens and that type of thing. We have not played
Well, it
with
used to
that.
be cost prohibitive, but I mean, in the last just 3 years, it's dropped precipitously.
Yeah.
Which opens up the door to smaller communities that would never have thought to do something like that before. So I'm curious if you've been to a class and you have some awareness of it, but I'd like to stay aware of that as that drops into our scope for what we could afford for our residents.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, some of the bigger departments are starting to play with that. It just hasn't come out, to more of the rural areas, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that.
Any other questions?
How many command vehicles do we have now? Do we have 3?
Correct.
Okay, so the fourth one technically doesn't come in until 2033.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And that's, you, can you tell me who is all driving those? You have one 24/7.
The chiefs use those.
Okay.
And then the captains, and we have a couple of right front seat folks that are training to be into the captain spots.
Okay,
So there's 8, 9 of us.
okay.
They're
that it
able, but
rotates.
you have one all the time?
And, yep, when I'm in town, I usually have one.
Okay.
And then it's based on who's on call?
Yep.
Okay. So there's a chief on call.
Yeah, so we try to have a duty chief and a duty officer from 9 PM until 6 AM in the morning.
Okay,
And then if they're able to, if they're around during the day, to respond to calls.
Okay.
But really, it's from that 9 PM to 6 AM.
okay,
So then we only wake up 2 people versus, the other 30.
sure. Okay, great.
Great.
Any other questions? Nothing from you, Eric? Okay,
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Council, are you happy with the way this is and you just want some follow-up, or do you want to see another draft?
understanding the transmission issue, I'm okay with the way that it is. Does anybody feel differently?
I'm fine.
That was my thing too.
I'm fine
was-
with that.
When I heard the transmission might make it till replacement, I'm much more comfortable with this.
Yeah. But I think you understand the direction we're,
Absolutely.
okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Up next, we've got the 10-year Public Services and Community Development Department Equipment Plan. Mr. Simmons and Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Let's see if I can find out where the share the screen button is. Did I get it?
Yeah, I said aloud.
Oh, sorry. It's different on every one here. Okay, this information was all provided in the packet as well, but, so this is the 10-year update to the equipment plan. Just some high-level things from last year. Last year, we did kind of a really big update. And this year is pretty much status quo from last year. A few changes. One of the largest changes is moving the replacement of the 936 cat loader from 2034 to 2029. That cat loader is from 1989 and has recently caused some expenses on some repairs last year. This plan update also reduces the contribution from the general levy over the course of 10 years. And we're still able to make the plan cash flow. Most of that savings is gonna occur in that window from, I think, 2029 to 2033, where as a city, we have some larger expenses coming up. The plan update also includes 2 equipment items in 2036, the new plan year. One is the replacement of a 2016 plow truck, and then the other is the city's sign truck, which was purchased from Carver County. So same kind of plan goals from year to year.
Can you give me a definition of sign truck?
Yeah, so currently our sign truck is a large truck that was built out for the county, so we're able to put signs on it. It usually has a crane, a air compressor for pounding posts and things of that nature, so we can go install signs ourselves rather than having to pay someone for that replacement. One of the things I envision for a city of our size and our sign truck is something reduced. So currently in the budget, I have in there, it's a large number, $270,000, and I would envision that number to decrease significantly as we have time to research. Because right now it's on the same cabin chassis that a plow truck is on, and I would do like a 1-ton and then add on the compressor, maybe a welder, so we can have more functionality. So when we do have a mechanic in 2030 or something like that, that truck is able to be deployed in the field if something breaks down. They can fix something, and it has all the equipment right on it. But I think it's going to be reduced from the 270. The 270 is a number that, if we had to replace that truck right now, that's probably what it would cost, which is not a number that I would really like to.
Sure.
Go
I know
after.
it's a ways out,
Yeah, yeah.
2036, so it's hard to know, but is 270, is that like 100,000 over? Is it 1,000 over? Is it 50,000? I mean, is it something that we can reduce to be a little bit more realistic in this? Because we know already that we don't want the size of what we have, it
I
sounds like.
think it would get down to, quick math in my head, it was probably 200,000 would be a better number for that.
Okay. Even considering the inflation of being out that far, 200 would be a better number, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is that something we want to adjust in the plan then, so that it reflects that a little bit more accurately? I'm gonna look
We
at.
can.
Okay. I'm gonna jump up to Brett. Like,
No,
if we're
if that's
looking
your
at something-
direction, we
yeah.
can certainly do that.
Right. Brett, what are your thoughts on that too? If we're stating it as something that we know might be excessively high at this point?
All things being equal, I would keep it. What you have there for a number isn't gonna impact what you contribute to the equipment levy. So, if it was like 100,000 plus, but at 70, I think a lot of things can change, and it's, at that conceptual phase, and so it might change again. It tells us what the replacement of our existing vehicle is, but we've seen a lot of changes in what we think we need from year to year, so the super conservative part of me would say leave it, but I think there's certainly an argument to change it. The conservative part of me feels like it doesn't impact anything in your plan other than the last year of your plan, so we can make a note of it. But again, nothing that I feel strongly about.
Okay, so leaving it in here as this right now really isn't, it's not affecting anything, it's just our projection out 10
It's
years.
10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's, leaving it that way is, it's not gonna be to our detriment at this point.
If you, yeah, if you wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna be that, even though it can change from year to year, I mean, you certainly have, there isn't any downside to changing it either, other than it's always harder to go back up than it is to come down.
I mean, it's a decade away, so I think it's fine, we'll just leave it.
We might be 60 by
What? I might be what?
then. We might be 60 by then.
I'll be 61 by then. But I'll take 60 then, it's fine. No, thanks for.
I have a question on the
Yeah.
sign truck. Could we start getting information together on about how much we spend a year, or maybe how much we spend every 2 years? And I realize it might be really hard to quantify.
On signs,
Yeah, because we're not outsourcing any of it,
we do a little bit,
a
yeah.
little, okay, or maybe to kind of
I don't
see
know
if there's
the
a cost
exact
savings.
history on what that purchase looked like. I mean, right now, it's a 2003 chassis that is not gonna last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it would be replaced when it's 33 years old.
What are you trying to figure out with that?
That when we have the
I
yearly
think there's a-
discussions on like
yeah.
checking in on a 10-year plan, then when we're talking 9, 8 years, we've already started to gather the data. So I'm not looking for anything in the past, but just to be able to say, oh, we're gonna save money in this area.
My hope would be that we have like, it's even in the name, like sign truck, we don't want a vehicle that just does one thing. So the more Andrew and his team can think about what other things we can do with a vehicle or piece of equipment, the better. And so that's where I sit on that 270 number, as it gives us more options. But I think it'd be fair to say we don't, collectively, we don't wanna spend 270,000 on a vehicle that just puts signs into the ground, because even that you only do 6 months out of the year. So then you think of, so what else could we do with it? And the department has shown a lot of creative ways. If you remember, I forgot what it was called, something like a hitch and go, where you can have a bunch of different attachments, where we have the garbage truck and we have a plow truck, and it does some other stuff that's really cool.
So I'm wondering, Brent's technical terms for all this stuff. For the stuff. I'm wondering then if we, because it's not just a sign truck, that maybe we want to put sign/something on here. So when we're looking at it, we realize, because again, as we were asking, when I see, please give me the definition of a sign truck, because to me, I'm thinking, how many signs are we putting out every day, right?
Right.
So
And
maybe,
And in 10 years, like, just think how many more streets we have, and
Right.
like all that stuff just compounds, so,
So you could call it like a service truck or street maintenance truck or.
yeah, something of that nature.
something, I mean, you can leave sign/service something, but I think we need a little more in there than just sign.
Yep,
Okay.
good comment.
Any other feedback?
So let's zip back to, we can look at the funding, if you would like to reduce funding numbers. And then 2027, what's actually next year. So next year, we have replacement of a 2012 truck. Eric Madigan drives that truck around right now. If you've seen him around town in that blue truck, that's the one that will be replaced. We have a 2005 mower and sidewalk blower, and then the Toro grandstands replaced for next summer.
Same with the fire department stuff. Do we take the ones that we have now and we'll try to sell them at auction?
Yep, we'll try to auction them off, and that is a big part of really, I would say the young part of our plan right now is not realizing how, when we turn and burn some of these vehicles, what the actual true replacement cost is. And that's where I'm hoping that we're gonna be very successful in. If we take care of our equipment, the replacement value is really high. So if we look at the 2028 year, we have replacement of a 2018 Bobcat skid steer. So the Bobcat, if you were to go buy one right now, in the state contract's $85,000. I'm hoping that we get a pretty good value on our current skid steer of at least 30,000. So where this money is really not captured in our financial plan, I'm hoping that in the future we can reduce it more, but.
So then, do we have a, I don't know, like, it doesn't have to be a formal policy, but whatever we get from the sale goes right back into the capital fund? Okay. Can we talk about the 2018 replacement of a skid steer? It's less than it'll be 9 years old, 10 years old?
That's where looking at where the value is going to be at the replacement. So, where it's not an $85,000 that we're gonna outlay completely, and if we can get 30 to 35,000 for a piece of equipment like the Bobcat that's used almost on a daily basis, especially in the winter time when they're doing trails and sidewalks with it, that's where these numbers are not the net price. They're the.
But is there anything wrong with the 2018, or we're just trying to turn it in when it's still worth some money?
Just trying to turn it in where it's still worth money.
Okay. So I think there too, I think there's a discussion about, like, do we want to do that, or do we want to run them into the ground?
I think you definitely want to have a schedule and stick to it, because when we hold on to a piece of equipment longer than necessary, those sneaky repairs like the transmission, those large repairs, they pop up and then we're on the hook for
And
it.
nickel and dime us.
Where if we can get rid of those and still maintain a strong value for them and trade them in, then our plan starts to work and rely less on the general fund.
How long is a warranty on something like that?
That's a good question that I don't know.
Okay, that would be nice to know.
Yeah.
too. If we're, you know, let's say for the 2018 even, I mean, if we had warranty for 5 years on it or whatever, you know.
Right.
That
period.
That helps, I think, with the argument of why not only do we get more money back for when we do a resale of the one before it, but if we know that we're covered for 3 years, 5 years, whatever, I have no idea what it might be.
Right.
I think that also can justify, because again, any nickel and diamond things that might happen over that time, which are not likely, but can certainly happen, then we know are covered.
So another thing with equipment, I mean, I would like to get away from putting the boxes on the trucks that you see a lot of cities have. Those boxes are like $30,000, and at the end of the day, when you're trying to sell that, you're not getting their return on that, and they go largely unused. So for Eric's truck right now, he has the boxes, and it would be getting a pickup and maybe like a topper on it so he can lock stuff up and not have all those unnecessary boxes for a large dollar amount.
So when you're talking about the boxes, you're talking about the boxes that you're just holding like your tools and stuff.
Yeah, you know, like
boxes?
those utility boxes on the side of the trucks, those add like a significant amount of dollars to those trucks.
Now, when I think of topper, though, I do think of people having to like crawl into the back end of the truck. So, are we okay with that?
I mean, they have some slide out things too.
Okay.
They have toppers with, you know, the boxes like on the side.
Okay.
So they have like a side door that you can lift and get tools and irrigation stuff, but at a significantly less cost.
Okay. All right, that makes me feel better. I just don't want to see a bunch of public works guys having to like crawl into the boxes of their truck all day long with the toppers on.
What's the price of a topper, do you know?
I would say, depends on if you're going aluminum or fiberglass, but probably $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
So getting back, kind of the overall plan is pretty much the same as it was last year. We have the planning vehicles sprinkled in there. I think 2031 is the new one, Erin. Well, I think 28 is a replacement, and 2031 is an additional with the staff addition of inspector.
So I have another question, and I like to see it, right? But it looks like many of our years, the dollar amount has dropped by, roughly 25,000 or something like that. That's great, but how are we bringing that down, or why are we bringing that down? Do we just tighten up numbers a little bit, or?
We don't have it on here. It's frustrating. The cash flow buildup was a little too,
Robust?
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
We're trying to be strategic on when some of these purchases come and hopefully try to reduce the impact
Okay.
with all the other stuff coming, so.
Okay. No, very happy to see it, just usually things don't go down, so.
Well, and I think that's great. Thanks
Yeah.
for saying like, nope, this is a little too much. We're
Yeah.
good. Like, thank you. I think that's fantastic.
Well, I think a lot of it is a testament to Andrew's work. I mean, we haven't had this thorough of a plan,
Yeah.
and we've tended to borrow, and so the transition to cash, and Andrew working his way through it. There is always I think, there tends to be an anchor of like, we need more and we need all of this, but when you put it on paper and that one slide that he has with the colored boxes really gives you a sense of the consistency and thoroughness, and by the time you got to the end of the plan, we were approaching like $1 million in cash, and that's not what we want to do. Kind of to the council's point from the last meeting, it's where can we use that in other places, and so that's why you see the reduction in part.
Erin, for the EV in 28, is that a replacement for the Compass that we have, not the Mitsubishi?
Correct.
Okay, and how long, we've had that for a couple more years than we had the EV. Do you know what year that is?
2019, I would say.
Do we own that?
Yes.
Okay, but we started leasing it. Is that right?
We had it with Mark Pistalka, so it's.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Weird facts.
Any other questions, comments? Eric, anything from you?
No, nothing from me. I agree with the plan to move these through our life cycle them sooner to avoid some of those expensive repairs, because it isn't just the repair, it's the impact to everybody when it's not available.
Yeah.
So
Anything from you?
I'm on board with that too.
Two things. I love this whole idea, and I really like specifically the trying to introduce a tractor, because you could use it summer for mowing lawns, and then in the winter clearing snow, and also your analysis of like seeing that vehicles just kind of come equipped with the extra storage boxes on the side that are substantially expensive, and that's probably meant more for someone who's at a job site far, far away from their shop, or they need all the equipment for the week.
Right.
And I feel like in the city, the cost savings, not maybe not. Yeah, there might be a few more trips to the shop, but
Yeah.
we're so close. Everything's so close. It's worth it.
Yep,
So, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, up next, we have the city manager's report. Mr. Merrick? We've got a whole 48 minutes for this, so take your time.
All right.
48 minutes.
How's this?
I'm fine with it, but I don't think Christy loves it.
No. Slow for my brain, come on.
Seasonal hours start on Tuesday, so that, if you remember, Public Services works that same 7 to 4:30 shift, but throughout the year, and then 7 to 11 on Fridays. The Tuesday after Memorial Day, City Hall staff will move to that same schedule again, Monday through Thursday. 7 to 4:30, and then Friday 7 to 11. We, as like a department head team, still have, I would say, pretty robust coverage after hours, just like we would after 4:30 on a Tuesday. We won't respond to like a weekend reported concern, but if there's something comes in at 3 o'clock on a Friday and we can handle it, we're gonna take care of it. But Brenda and her team have done a really good job of, there's a lot of things that you can do on the website. And so for like the transactional stuff, a lot of that is still available to folks.
So it's 7 to 11, tell me the hours one more time for City Hall.
Yeah, 7 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday, and 7 to 11 on Fridays. And then, like, I would say salaried staff might not always keep those hours, so you still might find one or all of us working here on Friday afternoon, depending upon what the needs are for that week.
Okay.
Kind of an odd thing that came up last year, and now you can kind of see it this year. So I'm gonna, this is our 2026 assessment from the Carver County Assessor's Office, and we wouldn't often see a market reduction under commercial and industrial. And in 2025, some of the private utilities, I think it was namely CenterPoint, maybe some of Excel, they went to tax court on the value of the right-of-way that they have and ended up winning. So not just Carver, but really every city in the state is seeing some type of percentage of drop of that market value. It's offset by some of the new construction that we've had, and obviously the new construction residential, but there haven't been many times in my career here in Carver where we've seen negative increases or reductions in overall market value. So you can see nearly 0.75% on residential and 4.5% on commercial industrial. And so an extra set, I would say, of discussions and calculations that the council and staff will need to kind of prep for you. But normally we would do like, well, your tax would be $100, and if your value went up by 3.5%, it would go to $103.50. But in this instance, if you don't change anything, the tax responsibility goes down. So, which we haven't experienced very often. It could have, a number of unintended consequences to how you think about the budget globally. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'll have this teed up in the budget preview. I think that's at your next meeting, but I just wanted to give you some line of sight to that. The Carver County Mobility Study, I believe they're taking the findings to the county board tomorrow. Work through some kind of issues in the background, but at the end of the day, it looks like the plan shows Carver County funding Southwest Prime Services in Victoria and Carver. So on the plus side, we wouldn't have about a $50,000 allocation, which we had been doing for Prime Service. There's some T's that need to be crossed and I's that need to be dotted, but that looks like the way that we're heading.
Why are they gonna take it on specifically?
Pardon?
Why are they gonna take it on?
There's a new source of funding from the state of Minnesota, and part of that funding needs to be dedicated to transit.
Okay.
And so that was the impetus for the county to conduct that mobility study with, I think it was Stantec. They came out, did a presentation, and so they're gonna be adding prime service to Waconia, increasing some circulator routes like in Norwood, Young America, Cologne, etc. But it's a sizable amount of money, which allows them to not just cover our costs, but cover the subsidy that Southwest Transit had identified as what they were kicking in and not being reimbursed for the service.
Okay. The reason I was wondering is because if we're paying for it here, the county takes it on, do we just see the raise on the county side of the taxes rather than just on our side? So, but it's coming from state money, so.
Well, it's still
Our money,
Tax
so
money.
everybody's
Yeah.
money. But if there's a little bit bigger pot. what do
I
you
have a
want to say?
related question for Eric. Eric, have you heard anything on whether or not they're gonna revive the consolidation bill for transit next year?
No, I haven't, actually.
Okay.
I was wondering that myself.
Okay.
Moving on, we pushed the utilities infrastructure 10-year plan review to your June 1st meeting. There's some pretty significant infrastructure that we want to make sure that we're getting right and aligning in the proper years. Lift stations, water treatment plant, et cetera. One of the bigger ones is getting, I think you remember, we need to get another sanitary sewer service. Say that 10 times fast. Sanitary sewer service under 212. We have an existing 10-inch line, but we need to get a 36 or 30-inch line. And we're looking at maybe potentially phasing that. If you think of the property west of Fleet Farm, there is some capacity to service that with the existing line, but once you get further west, we are at capacity with the line, not the network, but just the line across 212. And we think there is an argument to be made to make sure that we get sewer service there, because that's prime industrial commercial property. We want to make sure that, as you probably know, when these folks come along, they want to get started yesterday. And so if we can have a plan in place to bring that across, it will help, I think, make sure that we're in better harmony with what we expect for anticipated development. Andrew and his team are really doing a lot of work on the public services design review. The floor plan and building elevation stuff is really coming in well. We got some updates on costs, and so we're planning for a pretty, I would say, significant meeting on July 20th, where we're probably going to want to just take that whole work session, and I wanted to get some feedback from the council. You know, there is you could move that to the regular meeting and not be constrained for time. I'm not sure how much time or the environment that you want to take in that information, but at least I wanted to highlight. You don't have to provide that response now, but I just wanted to tee it up for you.
So what are you looking for? That'll be the only thing on the work session?
Yeah, I mean, do you have
I mean, that's fine if that's all.
It's not often that you have a meeting like that. And do you want to take it all in at a work session? If you did it at a regular meeting, maybe opens up if you have people in the audience that want to have a question or something. You know, you could certainly, I mean, we'll do dedicated engagement, but think about that, and I'll check back in at a meeting in June to see how you feel about that. Creekside Park, the dog play areas are opening on Friday. I sent a message out. Although the grass has come in parts, it looks better from the road than if you actually walked out there. There's some kind of barren spots, which I think we should expect that. You know, we chose as a budget measure not to irrigate or to bring in or export. Was it export or import? Import soils as a cost-saving measure. So over time, it'll develop, but it's certainly not going to be like front yard type of grass. But I also don't think that there is an appetite in the community to like try to let that go and wait a whole nother season. So, and I think there's a certain, not attempting to be like negative, but there's a certain element just from watching other dog parks and conversations about that where I think we are going to get some complaints about the dog park, whether there's too much dog waste people aren't picking up or interactions between dogs. And so I just wanted to name that. And if the council had direction for staff ahead of time or just for you to like opine on how you feel about that, I think that would be a great time to kind of get that feedback from you, understanding that some decisions were made in advance for how that area is going to look and feel. There is, we are marking the trees that are dead. They're under warranty, but they haven't actually finished their warranty, so playing a little cat and mouse with the contractor, cause they still have time for them to bloom, but some of them are obviously
Well, good
dead.
luck, yeah.
But just wanted to pause here and get some council feedback, especially for like Andrew and his team. I think it'll be helpful to understand how the council feels about that related to expectations and ongoing maintenance.
Open it. Let's get it open.
Yeah.
It's time. And if we have to look at, I mean, possibly doing some dormant seating in the fall to, you know, get it going again for next year, that's fine. I don't want to see it closed any longer. It needs to get open.
I think the conversations that Brent and I have had about this is like, I'm just imagining dogs at Mach 10, right? And that's not very, like, not always grass friendly, just at a baseline. So I think while the grass might not be pristine, it might not look like a fairway right now, it's not gonna get any better once the dogs get in there. So I think, like, let them play.
Dog parks, it's gonna be what it's gonna be,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're gonna have a dog out there that digs a hole somewhere, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be what it is.
In the area where the grass is the best.
Yes, right? Like the green spot is
Yeah.
gonna be getting torn
Yeah.
up for sure.
Yeah. Eric, do you have any thoughts on the dog park?
Oh, I think people are just going to be thrilled that it's open, so let's open it.
Great.
I have a couple other comments for the dog park though.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were moving on to the next one. or
I
not.
was.
Okay. This one, Erin, I had talked to you last, I don't know, fall, something like that. We had talked about benches or something for inside the dog park. People like to sit down. Have we thought any more about getting something installed?
Yes, it's been on our to-do list to reach out to the Lions.
Okay. Okay, so we do have a meeting on Wednesday night
Okay.
that I'm planning to be at. Would you like me to bring it up while I'm there?
We had a map.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah.
I think the Lions have a bench that has
We have
been
one or two,
earned, that
yeah.
has not been placed yet, so.
I was gonna call Dean, but I didn't wanna, if you guys had some other plan, I didn't wanna start.
We made a little layout once. Where it is, I don't know.
I still have it.
We like labeled how many benches we would like to have.
Sure.
So we'll send it over.
Okay, if you can find it before Wednesday, that would be fantastic, and then I'll just bring it up.
I could double it up.
Okay.
Because it's pretty much-
Okay, and I don't know,
You see what you did there?
and I can't speak for what the Lions may or may not do, but it'd be worth asking.
For sure.
Okay.
You can't contribute all of them. We can get them all set in. At least I think we decided like 4. I think it was 2 in each, but
Okay.
we'll find that thing.
I think the last meeting, Christy, they were talking about, they have them and they're happy to put them where the city wants them, they just didn't know where the city wanted them.
And I think they're
So,
getting antsy to get them
Yeah,
put somewhere.
yep.
So, okay, I'll bring it up then on Wednesday. Thank you.
The Miriam Junction Trail Bridge, although it looks to be open, it's not open. There's a fence on the Scott County side. I think there's some actually talk about moving that up to the Carver County side, if that's accurate. Erin?
It's there right now,
Oh.
but I met with Scott County last week to talk about, while the trail is not open on the Scott County side, how far do we let people go from the Carver side? So, we had some thoughts. I'm gonna run everything by Josh Baker, that if we put it at like the center point, being on the Carver side, you can see where folks could be, where if it's closer to the Scott County side, there's not a straight visual, so more to come on that. The work is still being actively done on the Scott County side right now.
Did they remove the fencing that was on the Carver side?
No, it's there right now.
Oh, okay. But you're saying they're gonna remove that and
We
open up?
discussed moving it back, so then folks could at least experience walking.
I love that.
portion of the bridge.
Yeah.
Instead of being just at the entrance of it, but also maintaining safety for the crews on the Scott County side.
Okay.
I'd love that, and I'd advocate for putting it at the end,
Mm-hmm, me too.
at the landing on the Scott County side.
As far as it can go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not in a climbable, accessible, jump around it distance, but like, yeah, that's
That's
Open it
exactly
up.
what I was gonna say. Even, I'm happy, go past the halfway point if you can. Like, if it could go all the way to the Scott County point.
or 10
and-
feet from the end or something.
Yeah, and the workers are on the other side and they're fine, great, push it as far as it can go.
That's good feedback. We're gonna check with the contractor too, just to see what they're comfortable with. If it were folks right there, like more to come, but we had a really good meeting with Carver County and Scott County related to signage and safety and what our plan is in the interim while it's not open all the way, but folks are eager to at least experience part of it.
Yeah, people are super excited. I planted my community garden yesterday afternoon, and the acoustics down there are such that you can hear everything that's going on at the trail, and like, it is a talking point for folks, and everybody's excited about it.
And then the other
We're
hard,
still on the Riverside Park.
pardon?
I have a question for Riverside Park, though. Are you still on that, or are you moving to the
I'm
next?
gonna hit Riverside
Okay,
Park right
perfect.
now.
I don't know where you're at. I was like, it was a lull, and I'm like, is he going to staff leadership?
So the, I think, is it tomorrow? Or
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, Paul and Andrew are meeting with, the contractor and doing a walkthrough of the park, and I'm gonna highlight areas that need to be addressed prior to the opening, but I'm not sure what that list is, so I can't prognosticate when it would be open. And, you know, based on what Paul and Andrew share, we could open it and then just say, like, this stuff is gonna happen while the park is open. I just don't know what that list is today.
So my question then for saying the park isn't open, but the gates are open, and you can just drive into the park.
Are the
Right.
gates open right now?
I believe you can drive right into the park. I could be wrong, but I believe you can drive right into the park. So
We haven't opened the gates, have we?
if the gates are open and we don't want the park to be considered open, I would suggest we make sure they're locked. So maybe Andrew, after the meeting, drive that direction. Because from what I was told, it sounded like they were open. There was a sign that said park closed, but it sounds like there wasn't anything to really stop you from going into the park. So
We
if you
haven't-
could recheck on that.
Yeah, we haven't received anything from Scott County saying it's open. I don't think they have the keys to that unless Paul gave it to them.
Paving and.
Oh, that's right, they
some
probably
other
have
work.
keys. So they could have done some work and then not closed it
Okay,
back up.
so will you just recheck that, because I had questions over the weekend, and I guess I even came home from work today, I didn't even look down there, so, but I guess I made the assumption from what they were saying that it was wide open, just a sign. So then that would take care, kind of, the boat launch isn't open, but when do we have any expectations yet when that'll be open?
Based on, I don't know what the condition of the boat launch is, so when Andrew and Paul take a look at
Yeah,
that.
Paul's gonna really drive that discussion tomorrow
Okay,
with his knowledge of the park. Really, I haven't been to that park once.
so when it was, yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I haven't really.
Yeah, see what it looked
I've
like.
never seen what it's supposed to look like.
Mhm.
So Paul's really gonna drive that conversation. I know he's been down there and has a list in his mind what needs to be done.
Okay.
so.
Yeah, and I know Paul goes down every year and they get the muck out and stuff, but
Right.
there are some anglers who are bugging me about getting out on the boat launch, so.
If we can get it open before the weekend, we'll get it open before the weekend. We don't, plan to open the campsites, because we're gonna be closing the park probably sometime this fall with the levee project. The archery targets are down at Creekside Park. That's it on Riverside Park. Did I answer your question? Do we answer your questions? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
And then, we had a great training exercise, all staff, leadership training under the Milestone program. So we brought somebody in, hit kind of a bunch of areas within leadership, interpersonal skills, dealing with conflict, et cetera. Here you can see, staff, put together either like a word or a phrase related to how they define a good leader. So it was a really good exercise. We found out a need, because one of the exercises was to like, what's a question that you've had a hard time asking? And we heard a couple of like things that were interesting, and so we want to, as a leadership team, create more spaces for folks to ask those questions, or better yet, like us ask like, what do you need? What's working? What's not working? So in the end, I think a great exercise, and I think a benefit that the Milestone program promotes, that intentionality of doing that, where maybe previously people would have done that independently, and so there was a value. We did pizza afterwards of doing that together, having that experience, and then having some fellowship, if you will, after the training. So That's all I have, unless there's a update that you're looking for that I didn't share.
I have a question on number 2, the market values.
Mhm.
For the agriculture, is the increased market value, or is it the number of like acres that have additional acres because of annexation?
Correct, annexation.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Eric, anything?
No, nothing for me.
All right, any council requests? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilmember Conrad,
Second?
second by Councilmember Pasco. Any further discussion? You do a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Pasco,
Aye.
Councilmember Conrad,
Aye.
Councilmember Sayer,
Aye.
Councilmember Hirschman,
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion carries. We are adjourned.